I spent a whole year with the Google Pixel 6 Pro, and a half of it was amazing while the other half was riddled with bugs and software issues. Normally, I do not upgrade for 2 or 3 years, but this time, I kind of had to after just 1 year since the issues were extremely abundant. I no longer have the Pixel 6 Pro since I traded it in, but I will say that I feel very relieved with the Pixel 7 Pro, a phone with minor upgrades that make a huge difference. Let's dive right in. And this video is sponsored by Zenslabs, the makers of what is now my new favorite drawing tablet. I mean seriously, what they offer here is quite ridiculous, and it dumbfounds me how this is pretty much the only brand doing this right now. So in the box for this tablet, you do get the tablet itself with the necessary cable, and you get a case that includes 2 styli, the Bluetooth receivers for wireless use of the tablet, and some extra pen tips. You also get this protective bag where you can fit all of your accessories, and the inside is made of this beautiful and very soft material that will keep your gear protected. You can also get this quick keys accessory that allows for shortcuts as you desire, and these are fully remappable. These even display what the shortcuts mean on the screen, which is incredible. But most importantly, the performance is incredible, and I hereby declare this to be the best starting kit for any student or animation enthusiast. You simply can't top this regardless of which other kit like this one you mention. So if you are interested in art at all and you want to give it a try, then click on my link and then you will set yourself up for greatness from there. This is the most comfortable set that I have ever used, and especially because of the stylus itself, since it even has an eraser tip, which you will only find on some of the highest end drawing displays. And this is actually really incredible and useful to have with a device like this one. And not to mention that the surface is going to be incredibly smooth and just very nice to draw on. I absolutely love it. So get yourself the best starting kit out on the market. This is going to be the Zenslab Pen Tablet and the Zenslab Quick Keys. So get yours today and start creating amazing artwork. Links down below, and thanks to Zenslab for sponsoring this video. The exterior design consists of glass sandwich, so this device is really nicely built, and as you can see, I went with the hazel variant instead of black like I usually do. Honestly, I really like this color, and it really shows off the materials here the most, from what I've seen at least. The metal around the edges is glossy and feels very strong. The glass on the back feels like glass, but the camera bump, as I will call it, is also comprised of metal, unlike how it was with the Pixel 6 Pro. This is definitely preferable as we can expect greater durability. There aren't many differences otherwise from last generation in terms of the exterior from last year. The buttons on the side are a little bit lower, so you can't use Pixel 6 Pro cases with this one, unfortunately, and there is a piece above that that's meant for better 5G connectivity. And yes, it does work very well, but as usual, no micro SD card expansion, just a SIM card tray for physical SIMs. I found out about eSIMs very recently, to be honest with you, so I feel like it's worth noting. The speakers are also situated in the same place as before, and generally speaking, in terms of the physical aspects, the phone is pretty much the same. But I guess that it does go some way to show that this design does stand the test of the year. This device also features the same display from last year, at least for the most part. It's still a 6.7-inch OLED display running at a resolution of 1440 by 3120 at an aspect ratio of 19.9 by 9. I forced it to run at 120 Hz at all times, of course. And this display is absolutely beautiful, and everything and anything looks really good on it. The UI, the content that you display on it, games, literally anything will look incredible on this display. I don't think many people will have a lot to complain about here, and it also curves just enough around the edges. The regular 7 has a fully flat display, and it's welcome to have it here too because it gives it more of an infinity edge look, I want to say, at least when it comes to the curves. But this is a really good screen in my opinion, no complaints. Now, the speakers do seem like a more straightforward upgrade to me. Like I mentioned earlier, the speakers are positioned where they were last year. Stereo speakers on the bottom and another speaker on the top of the hole punch camera module. They sound loud enough to be noticeable that there has been an upgrade, which is good enough for me. Like, they sound great in my opinion. So have a listen.
And I was pretty critical about it considering that the Retro Pocket 3 exists, so it made it difficult for me to recommend. In fact, I was actually kind of brutal when it came to my review, but I still stand by everything I said. So what makes the RG353V different to me? Well, it's mostly the price, but I also prefer the ergonomics on this one.
So in terms of raw specs, this device features a Google Tensor G2 CPU, 12GB of RAM, 128GB of storage, and a 5000 mAh battery. This is great as we clearly have a very powerful phone, but that giant battery is definitely a good thing to see these days. So in terms of features, we've got water resistance, wireless charging, facial recognition, fingerprint scanner built into the display itself, battery share features, and a lot more than most people won't really pay much attention to, much mind to, and I wouldn't really blame you for that. Now, when it comes to the UI itself and the OS, I honestly really love it. Android looks cleaner than ever through the Pixel. Here you have themed icons, which turn most of my app icons into a good color scheme that matches my background. I'm really into black and white, so I kept this background so that my icons could be in black and white. Everything is super smooth, and unlike with the Pixel 6 Pro, I've never had any app crashes. All Google apps and third-party apps run very well, and I find just using this phone to be extremely smooth. So I really like the Android experience as my phone looks like my phone thanks to the customization and overall performance. It's not like having an iPhone. Great stuff with Android 13 here. Now finally, let's get into the cameras, and I have a lot to say here since I've been spending some time testing these. On the front, you get a 10.8 megapixel ultra-wide camera that records at up to 4K 60, and it does look really good. The low light performance is also really nice with portrait mode still working quite nicely still. You should be able to see from some of the pictures here and video samples on screen, of course. There does appear to be some rather aggressive processing, but it also looks pretty good in post, so I don't really mind it. It's a fantastic camera that most people will like, but the camera I care about the most is the rear-facing camera, or cameras. You get a 50 megapixel wide-angle camera, a 48 megapixel telephoto camera, and a 12 megapixel ultra-wide camera, which all run at 4K 60 and at 1080p 240 FPS at the highest. The quality of pictures and video is amazing, especially when it came to pictures. I took some of my favorite pictures ever with the Google Pixel 7 Pro cameras, and I'm very satisfied with the results. When it came to nature photography in particular, I absolutely loved the results. There is the cinema mode when it comes to videos that blurs out the background of a subject and just focuses it on the main subject. While it can be a really cool feature, it is in its infancy still and does need some work when it comes to its accuracy, but I'm confident that with time, this feature will become much better. Hell, right now, it's still really good as it is, and I do use it from time to time, but it is kind of a gimmick right now. Autofocus is really good and stabilization is really solid, so when you're filming with very shaky hands, you can expect some very smooth and stable footage regardless. I really love that too. Also, when zooming way in with the telephoto lens, you hardly lose any detail at all. It does look really good at a 5x zoom. I'm really happy with the cameras here, and I think that Google is still number one when it comes to its camera technology. If you want this phone for the cameras, then absolutely get it. It's probably its best feature. So when it comes to gaming performance, you should expect great stuff. Regardless of the game, I'm sure that the Google Pixel 7 Pro can crush whatever you throw at it, and Genshin Impact should look incredible on this device too. So this will make for a great gaming phone, and if you're into emulation, then this device should be able to emulate PlayStation 2 with no problems and run Switch, Wii U, and possibly PlayStation 3. This is a really, really powerful phone, I dare say. Now the battery life. This is yet another fantastic feature here. It's a big battery with an efficient OS, and it definitely shows. This phone, with heavy YouTube usage, will last all day pretty easily. I use my phone a lot, so a good battery is very important. Luckily, the Pixel 7 Pro is really good when it comes to the battery life here, so I've got nothing to complain about when it comes to battery life. I think they did a really good job. And there you have it. I will be testing this phone out for a good while longer, and then make an updated video eventually, since right now I am still in the honeymoon phase and haven't found many issues, if any at all, with this phone. But I'm sure that I will have my issues with it eventually. However, right now, I'm really glad that I bought this phone. I've been with the Pixel since the Pixel 2, and it's crazy to see how it has evolved. If you're looking for a phone under $1,000 that has an amazing camera and a ton of other flagship features, then this is the phone I would immediately point to. For now, strongly recommend it. So thank you so much for watching this video all the way up until the very end. It is always very much appreciated. I am going to be leaving affiliate links down below to Amazon if I can find any, of course. If you were to use those links, it would really help out the channel a lot, so I would appreciate it if you use those. And also, I wanted to recommend you to my vlogging channel if you're interested in vlogs that happen once in a blue moon, like travel vlogs and things like that, of course. And you can also follow me on Instagram for more stuff. And yeah, until next time, this has been Francisco from Tech Summit. Thank you for watching, and until next time, enjoy.